So I'm going to tell you about today and the ride. I can't even talk. The wild ride of emotions. And then I'm going to explain how I sat there and figured out that I was triggered into a panic and anxiety attack. And the reason why I'm going to explain that is because a lot of times people don't realize their panic and anxiety is triggered by something. And a lot of times you sit in that panic so long that you can't pull yourself out of it and that you can't sit there and analyze and figure out what caused it. So my day started off by getting up and going to work when I'm not usually used to going to work. There was so much traffic that I ended up being there just on time, not in time enough. And then the restaurant was packed. The morning is going along, no problem. And then the boss comes in. I'm not used to working with her. And, she does things a little differently than I do. No problem, right? Cool, cool. We're busy. But by about 10, now I open the restaurant at 7. By 10:30, I'm exhausted, like physically, mentally. Get a rude customer. Um, and then I'd also had a customer that came in and had some sort of sobriety chip on his thing. But I noticed the key tag, but I didn't notice what it said. But it just reminded me of my grandmother. So I was like, oh my God, that's so sweet, blah, blah, blah. At one point, I tried watermelon and put salt on it, which my grandmother used to do. Reminded me of her again, had that little moment. Then I have a customer come in who's a regular, and he starts going off on this racist fucking tangent against people who are part of my heritage, but he doesn't know my heritage. So he assumes I'm a certain race and he's being racist. And I'm like, yeah, but this and that. But he just kept on. Then by the end of the day, the boss comes and basically tells us that we are going to be forced to work shifts and stuff that we don't want to work. I said, I cannot do that based on not the shift work. I said, based on the fact of ABC. And she goes, well, what's the problem with that? I said, that causes me massive anxiety. I said, I'm in therapy for it. I said, I'm spending $175 a pop for therapy. But right now that issue is not resolved. So I'm not able to do that. So then it goes into the fact that I may now lose my job because we're going to be forced to do something. But it wasn't until I got home, had a breakdown, had a panic attack, that I was able to figure out the reason and what triggered me into that panic attack was the fact that I'm being told to do something and being told that I'm going to be forced to do something that I don't want to do. Wait for part